Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Haribol 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol Nitai Gaur Haribol 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol Gaur Brahmanande Hari Haribol Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitangscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpataruvesha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebha Vaishnavebho Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktamindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here with you all. And because this holy name is so wonderful, it's ultimate shelter, it's the best thing we can ever imagine to receive by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur always mentioned that few things we should always remember. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent incarnation before we utter the holy name. Why? What is the most munificent? Because this is the only form of the absolute truth that gives Krishna Prem. Other incarnation and manifestation, they come to give liberation and other things, but not Krishna Prem. It is very easy to get material enjoyment, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But the most valuable treasure is given by only that form of, is known as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And especially to the most wretched fallen soul. I'm worse than that. But by the association of you all wonderful devotees in the movement, I have a chance as long I follow all of you. So without delay, we want to glorify Mahaprabhu, who also came in a two other form. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, he says, Aro dui janma loiva sankirtana arambe, khaiva tumar putra ami avilambe. Mora archa murti mata tumi she dharani, jibbarupa mata tumi namera jani. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu counsel to his mother. Mother, why you are sad? I'm taking sannyas. This is the night before, evening time. Of course, he is the Supreme Lord, but I was wondering. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it says millions of people came to see him the night before he was taking sannyas. I was thinking, where these million people coming from and why they're coming at this time? Because there's a very significance. This holy name actually gives the highest benefit that soul can ever imagine. What is this? The Radha Rani's highest form, Vrishabhanu-nandini, and Krishna's highest form, Rasika Shakhara, Krishna, Brajanda Nandan. This form, that Rasika Shakhara Krishna and Vrishabhanu-nandini, not Yogini Radha, not Sanjogini Radha, those are also Radha Rani, exhibited by Mahaprabhu also in front of Ratha Jatra and different places, Godavari, South India. But this Vrishabhanu-nandini and Rasika Shakhara Krishna, Paramakarun, this combination only in Sachinandan. And this is the last day of Sachinandan, the day before he took sannyas. He exhibited wonderful form to everyone according to their respective relationship. Even Vrindavan Das Thakur writes that to his mother, that he heard from Mother Narayani, who was sneakily hearing the conversation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, that time his name was not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Vishwambar, Sachinandan, and Mother Vishnupriya. Conversation night before. It's a very intimate conversation, and the highest dedication to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibited by Mother Vishnupriya and Mother Sachimata. So in that conversation with Mother Sachimata, Mahaprabhu revealed, I am taking birth from today on in another two forms, and you're going to be my mother in the form of tongue. So when we humbly serve the holy name, Mother Sachi become the tongue, and Nimai Sachinandan Gaurhari dances on that tongue. Karnarandha patadiya ridimaje pravesiya barishaya sudhaya anupam hridaya haite bale jivaraya agrete chale sabdarupe nache anukhan. Of course, it is not that anybody chant will be Lord Chaitanya dancing. No. It says that a Suddha chanter Vaishnava, when bestowing mercy to the fallen soul or accepting a disciple, giving this holy name, that time the holy name actually Sachinandan enters through the ear to the heart of that disciple. When Guru chant the japa mala and he gives and he chant the mantra through the right ear or through the ear hole of the disciple, then this Sachinandan Gaurhari in the form of Radha Krishna together, Vishwananandini, who has manifested, because holy name is actually more powerful than just Radha Krishna name in one sense. That's why we do not chant on Radha Krishna a whole day as a Mahamantra. We chant Hare Krishna because it has more depth of Radha Krishna's irresistible love for each other exhibited through the very intimate follower like Rupa Manjari, through her Rati Manjari, Raghunath Das Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada gives that anybody is close associate, they get this ultimate happiness of loving service. Raghunath Das Goswami to Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami to Narottam Das Thakur, like that. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to Baladev Vidyabhasan Thakur to Jagannath Das Babaji to Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Srila Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj to Srila Bimala Prasad, Vishwanodayita Das or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to our beloved Srila Prabhupada. And how close we are, that much proportion to that much, how loving dedication we are exhibiting or serving with a full dedication. Proportion to that, we will be able to have access to experience this. I love the way Prabhupada explained in the introduction. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentioned, I'm collaborating between Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that we should remember many things, at least few things, that form of Mahaprabhu, so important. And second aspect is that Mahaprabhu's biggest contribution is not only himself, but through his associate. Like through Ramananda Rai, he established the highest goal of life. Through Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the ultimate defeat of Mayavad. Mayavad, we are born with. Prabhupada mentioned. He even spoke about it. Mayavad means a contamination, blocking between the Suddhanam and Namaparad or Namabhas, all this. because in between something is blocking. So those has to let go. Of course, let go is not it's not a aparad and namavaji is not something on the shelf, you take it out and throw it. Not like that. It's a conscious revelation. You really have to sort it out and literally put aside. This is not for me. This is not good for me. Like Jiva Brahma Ikka Sajujya Gyan. The knowledge is there, one concept of Mayabharat. There's many concepts. You have to put it aside, knowingly that this is not helpful, not ignorantly, knowingly. Then Sambandha Gyan will arise in the heart. Then Krishna, the third concept also, Krishna is completely independent. His energy are not independent. We must remember this. So holy name is Krishna with the energy. If I am in the material world or spiritual world, what is the difference? If we are always sheltering of the holy name and knowing that nothing can harm, nothing can divert me unless I consciously choose to be diverted. Because no energy, Maya or internal potency are not independent. They are eternally dependent on Krishna. Krishna is always completely independent and free to act accordingly his desire. So bhava, the ultimate feeling, love for the Lord, that we're supposed to chant with the feeling, coming from where? Coming from my own heart. But then why it is not coming out? Because it has to be sanctioned by Krishna. But it is in my heart, but it has to be sanctioned by Krishna. And why? Rupa Goswami Pada explained, because there has to be symptom. Symptom has to be developing. If symptom does not develop, Krishna will not just sanction. Krishna wants to see that I am a proper candidate. Because love actually controls Krishna. Why Krishna will give it somebody to control him when they do not actually want to serve him and love him? Not that we have any alternative. Yeah, we have alternative, is illusion and suffering. So Shastra says, Prabhupada mentioned, we are Sukhannishi, Jiva Sukhannishi. We need to do bhakti, pure love. Without pure love, neither we will be happy or anybody will be happy in the entire creation. And our ultimate fulfillment will come when we literally love Krishna, who is all, and by embracing him, Prabhupada mentioned, I'm paraphrasing, that you will be embracing everyone and everything. Because Krishna is the root of all creation. So by watering the root, Krishna, you are watering everything and everyone. That is the ultimate goal to be achieved. How do I get it? I have to do sadhana. To draw Krishna attraction, as in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I remember Antalila 7.14, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami elaborate. Premo prakasa nahe Krishna sakti bine, Krishna eka premodata shastra pramane. Even though love of God prem is in my heart, in every jiva's heart, but it says, Prabhupada translate, as I remember, I'm paraphrasing his translation, without being especially empowered by Krishna, one cannot manifest this love of God. And then Prabhupada said, because Krishna is the only one who gives, Krishna is the only one who gives, who sanction or gives this ecstatic love, bhava. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. Because I heard before that Krishna has to sanction, and I'm thinking it is within me. mercy of the Vaishnava and my endeavor is not enough? Well, yes and no. Krishna still checking everything. Krishna has to sanction. What we can say Krishna's gift to us, and what we become, a lover, will be a gift to Krishna. So that's how the reciprocation will begin. And in Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentioned the irrevocable conclusion is that association of devotees or satsanga, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula, I'm mixing with Mahaprabhu's opinion, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai Sadhu Sangha. So satsanga is the root of all spiritual advancement. Satsanga means maintaining proper etiquette, attitude with a service mood, surrendering service mood, and not seeing fault in others, not criticizing or not seeing any fault in other Vaishnavas. What to talk about other jivas, especially Vaishnavas, because that will block. How do you know if you are blocked? You will be attracted to sense gratification. And I see someone loves to always criticize others and how he is getting so attached. And it's very difficult for us to reveal that secret to that person, that you are getting attracted to more sense enjoyment, material facility. That doesn't mean you are advancing. It is not the facility we are against. It is the attraction that we are attracted. The charm of allure of Maya. That's what. So that's why it is very difficult, dangerous, that we should be very careful not to criticize any Vaishnava. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila also says, 8.3, that Jaya Jaya Abhudata Chandra Nityananda Jagad Bandila Jeha Diya Prema Fanda. The Nityananda Prabhu, the greatest of mendicant, Abhudut, bound the entire world with the knot of ecstatic love of God. So as soon as we come to the shelter of Vaishnava means we should be experiencing this bhava. Because he bound the entire world with this. So many verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita reveal this. So today I was thinking, like, for at least few minutes, let's begin with examining our own consciousness, our position, whether we are advancing or not. Because Krishna Tattva is one thing, Krishna's glorification is another thing. Krishna's glorification is the actually holy name. Holy name is not just a name word, Sanskrit word or English word, KRSNA. No, not like this. It is the glorification, Kirti, Kirtida, Kirti, glorification, Kirtan. Because we need more Krishna experience than Krishna explanation, honestly. When we are chanting, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that it has to nourish our heart, the Bhakti Seva. If it is not nourishing our heart, something is not right. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, there are symptoms. So today we will discuss some symptom and the next one also, next time. That Rupa Goswami list, these are the following symptoms. And this you can find in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.276, famous verse. Utpanna rataya sammans nirvigna anupagata Krishna sakshat krito jugga sadhaka parikirtita. Sadhaka means anybody who is practicing. These are the symptoms that you are sincerely practicing. What are the symptoms? That in your heart, the rati, deep attachment a feeling must be arising. Although you may be not completely out of suffering in this world, not that there is suffering no more. No, suffering can be still there. But you are qualified to have a Krishna darshan. This is so wonderful. But we may think like, oh, I'm so fallen, it's not possible. Yes, that is humility, we may think that. But sadhaka means they are actually eligible to have darshan of the Lord. But then why Lord doesn't give darshan? Lord is watching right in front of you. He's watching. What is your intention? After darshan, what will happen? Because it's beautiful. Chaitanya Charitamrita gives so many secret things. Prarabdha, aprarabdha nahi kichu thake, bede gaye bara bara. Kintu he naam tava spurti hale, ekanti janera varo. Prarabdha, prarabdha kichu nahi thake, bede gaye bara. All the suffering that you are born with. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to his mother. When Mother Lakshmi Priya died, Mahaprabhu was not present. He was in East Bengal. He came back from East Bengal and he saw everybody's crying. So at that time, he counseled his mother. So Mahaprabhu's first wife passed away. So Mahaprabhu quoted many wonderful verses. Of course, he composed those verses. And one of the verses says, Prabhu kohe sukho teji suno moro mata nirbandana guchen likhan vidata. Dear mother, whatever is supposed to happen in this life, experience of suffering and pleasure, it's already written down by the Brahmaji, Vidhata, Likhan Vidhata. Vidhata means Brahmaji. Invisible way, every human being in this planet, Brahmaji personally comes and writes. So nobody can change it. But then after that, very wonderfully explain. Kintu he naam tava spurti hale ekanti janera aro. Prarabdha parabdha kichu nahi thaki vedegaye bar bar. The Veda is proclaiming, this is my translation of way of thinking, that whatever you are born with or whatever the unwanted things are stored in future life, all will be finished moment you have a spurti of Bhagavan. So it is important. We should be greedy to have a spurti of Bhagavan. It is necessary. It is not an option. It is necessary, Mahaprabhu says. We must have a spurti. Of course, Prabhupada emphasized we should act in such a way that his Guru Maharaj said to him, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, that Krishna will be willing to see you more than you want to see Krishna. Of course, that is very high, but we should have a greed also. Now, what can I do? These two principles, what can I do that will bring pleasure to Prabhupada and Krishna? What I should give up today, that will also bring pleasure. You have to add negative and positive both. In order to have a Saranagati, this positive and negative has to be the front functional. What am I willing? What am I willing at this moment to give up? Well, I can be willing to speak without offending. That will bring pleasure to Guru Krishna. At this moment, I can be willing to listening without defending, because these are the contagious anarthas within us lingering. What should I say in the Facebook or through the phone or wherever that will actually bring people close to Guru and Krishna, not take them away? This is not, then I'm doing opposite to Krishna. So to see the Rati in my heart is very far, million miles. I may be chanting within 1 feet of my hand and the mouth, but the gap, Krishna kept it like a million miles. Our goal is to draw their attention What can I do that will draw the attention of Prabhupada and Krishna? Then they will sanction, just like this. So this is very important. Srila Prabhupada quoted many times to his disciples, one should see their life, how much I am developing these qualities. When we are chanting, there are 9 symptoms. At least we'll address 1 or 2 as the time allows. One should see in their life how much I am developing these qualities. If it is not developing, my chanting need to get attention. Association of higher advanced devotee who can help me. Although these are the qualities of someone you can say on the level of bhava. Prabhupada said that. But Prabhupada said, but how much you are developing them in your own life? This is how you actually check. It's not like one day you will come to Haribol, you graduated in bhava and here is a name plug or something. Not like this. It is a gradual progression of all these 9 symptoms. Oh Prabhu, I am only in anartha nibriti. Anartha nibriti is a part of this bhava. Because if anartha doesn't move, how those qualities will arise? So I like the way Prabhupada said. Say, listen to these qualities, Prabhupada said, and think. 5 years ago compared to now, have I increased in these qualities? So wonderful the way he said. Then we will get something, some understanding how much we have progressed in spiritual life. So when Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, in these middle 6 years, there's 24 years, but 6 years he traveled, 6 years he communicated with the devotees, and 12 years he went completely for himself, mostly in Gambhira. So within the 6 years with the devotees, when Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he showed how all these qualities were manifest in his close associate. Not only him, he is experiencing, but all his associates. Therefore, when we studied the first 13 chapter of Antalila, we can get so much inspiration how to actually develop these qualities. So what are those qualities? That's the question. Well, you can look at in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or 1.3.25 or Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya Lila, 23rd chapter, text 18 and 19. Skantirabharta kalatam viraktimana sunnata asabandha samutkanta namagane sadaruchi asakti tad gunakhane priti tad vasati stale iti adda anubhava surjatankare jane. First is tolerance. Okay. What does that means? Prabhupada translate as utilization of time. It's interesting. Tolerance is a utilization of time. If you really think, how is Prabhupada translated like that? An unalloyed devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaged his words in reciting prayers to the Lord. Whether I'm cooking or doing some shopping for the temple or book distribution, wherever, whatever service I am performing, am I literally in the mood of prayers to the Lord? Am I offering this service to the Lord? Within the mind, he is always thinking of Krishna. And with his body, he either offers obeisances by bowing down before the deity. You can be walking and keep your forehead at the lotus feet of your Guru. Guru is not a physical body only. A form is important, but we are shooting for substance. What Guru has, his so much dedication, so much strong faith to his Guru. he is not moving from his service, what Guru has given. These are the attributes, quality of Guru. These are the substance. When we actually look for the substance of Guru, the quality, character, his dedication, selfless service, then we can see. It is not that one has to be completely 100% pure in order to preach others. Rather, I would say, or this is my own understanding in my own life, I'm a wretched soul. I am more attracted to see how somebody is purifying his or her existence through this sadhana is more attractive to me, because I see this is working for that person 100%. It will work for me. I can do it. I'll try. This is more attractive. So this is very important. Is he wasting? Is my spiritual master wasting time? No, then I should not waste my time. Very nicely, this Prabhu, Deva's father, Manibandha Prabhu. So he came to, a few years back, he came to my shop. He was with Prabhupada sometime in England. And so I said, give me some secret of your discussion with Prabhupada. He said, one time I really asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you are pure devotee. I can never be pure devotee. And he said, why not? Prabhupada said, why not? He said, well, I don't know, Prabhupada. I don't know anything. I just, some or other, you attracted me. I'm serving here to you. Prabhupada said, what do you see within me? Do you see me engaging my senses every day? All my senses? He said, what do you mean? Like you go to sleep, rest? Say, yes, I'm resting for Krishna. So this body can rest. So it can serve Krishna. If I don't give rest, this body, it won't serve. It will fall, apart, and it will be weak. It will be sleepy, lazy, cannot focus. So for Krishna's pleasure, I have to give rest. I have to use the bathroom, toilet, all this for Krishna's pleasure. Everything. Then Manibandha Prabhu was like, wow. Prabhupada said, you can do the same thing. He said, yes, I will try. Prabhupada said, then you are pure devotee too. You try. So we examine those great spiritual leaders we have in ISKCON. What they do? They are engaging their body, mind, and senses to please Prabhupada and Krishna. They are pure devotee. It's as simple as this. You don't have to go too many sloka to back up those. Yes, we have also sloka. If you are interested, we can explain that too. But these are very nice symptoms, these 9 symptoms. So, first, that Prabhupada explained that Skanti, very interestingly, an unalloyed devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaged his words in reciting prayers to the Lord. Within the mind, he is always thinking of Krishna. With his body, either offer obeisances by bowing down before the deity or engage in him other service. During these ecstatic activities, he sometimes shed tears. In this way, his whole life is engaged in the service of the Lord, with not a moment wasted on any other engagement. He wastes not his time, not even twinkling of an eye. In other words, means everything he is doing, it is related of pleasing Krishna. That is the point. It's not like he is not doing like a regular. A devotee like Bhaktivinoda Thakur went to the court every day. He was a judge. But is that a Mahabhagavat's activity? Yes. It's not like sometimes he's Mahabhagavat, sometimes he's not Mahabhagavat. That is a wrong conception. Sambandha laiya bhaje, Tare Krishna nahite je. This is sambandha. He has a full sambandha with whatever he is doing. That's how he attracted intellectual people to adopt this Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said in a lecture, in your ashram, temple ashram, if you have a first class, you will attract first class. If you have a fourth class, you will attract fourth class. So we have to be in the world with the educated, so-called educated people also. We have to get those education. We have to be wherever our inclination that we are coming with, born with, it's okay. We should engage to attract those people towards Krishna consciousness. We are not isolated living in a cave, in a forest or somewhere. No, this is Grama, Sahar, everywhere, town and country, everywhere, Krishna consciousness has to be adopted. So tolerance, Skanti here, exhibited by Haridas Thakur also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, or Chaitanya Chaitamrita gives. And I know but Loknath Maharaj made Gopal Radhe Prabhu gave me one chart. Maharaj made a very nice sequence how Haridas Thakur dependent on Krishna holy name for any challenges that came in life. Those are very nice focus. Very wonderful. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, must tolerate devotee, must learn how to tolerate. And we see recently Giriraj Maharaj was making a very nice point. He says, one reason to tolerate is that we have no choice like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj didn't have much choice, and we don't have either. So we have to learn to tolerate. It's for the better. Eternally we will be free. Why not tolerate? Little humiliation, little this, but eternally we will be free. So for the eternity, this one life is okay, no problem. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave up himself eating mango. He tolerated in a what sense? He did not forget it. Tolerance doesn't mean you forget the incident. Tolerance means you remember how it was dangerous. So he always remembered that he did not offer the mango. So he never ate mango because he felt always guilty, offender. So we can see different degrees. Interesting, one devotee mentioned that each incident, see if I will be more close to Krishna. Whatever incident comes in life every day, how can I be closer right now to Prabhupada and Krishna? That is called tolerance. And if I cannot see it, go to a senior devotee or call that devotee and tell that devotee to translate the position I am in right now. Can you translate how it is actually favorable? I can be closer to Guru Krishna in this painful situation. This is required because I may not be able to translate. I may see fear and all these things, but that's not actually true. In every situation, Krishna is watching how we translate that situation. Because every situation, Krishna is standing there waiting for us to look at him in a favorable way. And that is required. We have to change our view. We may feel pain, but pain sometimes hurts us, but pain also changes us, isn't it? When pain changes us, that is good. That tolerance is wonderful. One of our ISKCON speaker mentioned one time visiting Alachua that true tolerance means faith in Krishna, and you take 6 steps. One step is you hear the topics, you want to be aware. After hearing, if you have a desire to rectify that. Because if somebody says something about me, if I immediately push him away, I'm blocking to examine my heart. Maybe something wrong in my heart that he sees, I cannot see. So I have to allow it. It's very nice. Also, resentment. Resentment is another thing like Bhishma Dev and Duryodhana. They both are on the opposite side. But Duryodhana maintained the resentment, and Bhishma Dev never had resentment against Krishna. He never hated Krishna, even though he is on the wrong side. He is in the Kaurava side against the Pandava and Krishna, but he never had a hate feeling towards Krishna. Rather, Bhishma Dev, even though in wrong side, he always saw Krishna as a cure of his sickness. He knows Krishna is the cause of all causes, yet he saw Krishna's shelter is ultimate beneficial. Even he is on the wrong side. These are the quality why Bhishma Dev is the glorious and Duryodhana is never glorious. Both were on the same party. Similarly, after hearing, the desire to rectify has to develop. We have to be introspective and honest. We have to catch ourselves doing the wrong things. Oh, look, I was not attentive chanting. My mind went somewhere, here, there. Of course, distraction are three types. One is inattentiveness, laziness, and diversion to other things. Okay. Then if we see it, that why it is bringing me there, why that thought is going. It's not like mind is taking us away. We are allowing mind to take us away. And if I am incapable, that's where the time comes. Intensity and purity. Two things Prabhupada said, brings us closer to Krishna. My Lord, Holy Name Prabhu, I'm trying to serve you, but I'm so much in big trouble. My mind is diverting me away. Please, please, please help me. Please help me to serve you. Please allow me. Please accept me. This humble attitude changes. It's not just a philosophy. I see also within me. I'm not advanced or anything. I'm still fallen, wretched. But I see that it helps actually. Pulls us, brings us in closer, closer. And then we have to regret ourselves and we should cry for it. Srila Prabhupada said regression means, repentance means opening the door of liberation. And there are 8 symptoms. And wonderful. And final thing is on 6 notes that I have agreed to get purified. What do you mean agree? Means do your sadhana diligently. Agree doesn't mean, okay, I agree with your holy name, but I'm not doing. That's not agreement. Agreement to holy name means you please help me, and I agree means I am going to do my part. As far beyond something control like mind goes away, you have to help me, please. Prabhupada said to wonderful purport in Bhagavad Gita, he said, Arjuna actually using Krishna and getting help from Krishna to get him out of this illusion. So when we are in situation that it's beyond our control, we should take advantage of Krishna. Krishna, please help me. I'm trying to come. I cannot come. Please, only you can help. You are in my heart. What anartha is there, you know. I don't even know. I only know I'm lost. But I'm trying, Prabhu. So with humble attitude, when we start going like this, then possible. As I mentioned, because resentment, I hope all devotees getting out of this, hate feeling or resentment. Resentment actually of reality hurts more. It is very important. Resenting is negative. Longing for Krishna, prem and favor is positive. We have to switch. It's the same emotion. We just have to switch into positive. If we let everything that happened matter, we don't let what matters happen. When we pray for help amidst problem, but our prayer is not answered, so we ask, why is Krishna not helping? Sometimes we think Krishna does help, and his help always matches our expectation, but sometimes may not. Then you may say, why not? because he sees things differently from us. We should always remember that. We see the present and for future, whereas Krishna sees the future and plan our present. And that's how in Bhagavad Gita 7:26, Krishna explained this. So we should focus not on the wrongdoer, focus on ultimate doer, Krishna, for any situation, every situation. Whatever happened, don't focus on the wrongdoer. Focus on the ultimate doer, Krishna. And saintly people, the devotees in our Guru Parampara views, when somebody treats us unfairly, hurtfully, we naturally feel angry, even vengeful. But such an attitude us in negativity, whereby we hurt ourselves more than anyone else. What to do? We may wonder, may even get bewildered. Well, please see how Krishna actually advises. This is a place of a misery, does not mean we have to accept atrocity. So focus not on the wrongdoer's request, and myself too, I'm talking to myself. Focus on ultimate doer, Lord Sri Krishna. I'll end here. And if any further discussion, communication, I'm sorry I could not finish the first symptom, but I will definitely go on. Next EKΑΔAŞީ will finish the other 8 symptoms. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Prabhu's.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So grateful to you. And it was such a deep dive into one of the 9 aspects, tolerance. And I think we can go on and on this subject. And definitely there are questions to ask as well. I know, but you have to go. You have the Jai section to go for. So we'll not hold you back.
Yes.
We would, on behalf of everybody present on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, the entire team of the ISKCON Kirtan Ministry, we'd like to really thank you from the bottom of our heart and express our heartfelt gratitude. And we hope to have your association again next EKΑΔAŞΗ.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, so much. I really love you all. Please pray for me and bless me. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Loknath Maharaj ki jai. Assembled Vaishnavi ki jai. Gaur Pramanande.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Holy name of the Lord, and then we have with us
Participate this wonderful program today on the occasion of YOGINI EKÀDAŞÍ. And first of all, I would like to thank Sri Harikanta Prabhu to give me the opportunity to sing tonight with all of you. And I would like also to thank ISKCON Kirtan Ministry, who are doing wonderful service, connecting devotees from all over the world and glorifying the holy names. And specifically during this, I will say, pandemic situations all over the world. So so just before singing, I'm going to read a few quotes in Srimad Bhagavatam about the holy name of the Lord. And after that, I will start singing. Hare Krishna. Okay, so the first one is actually from Srimad Bhagavatam Introductions. So Prabhupada was mentioning some specific point about the holy name. So I'm going to start reading now. So the simultaneous occurrence of the Lord's appearance and the lunar eclipse indicated the distinctive mission of the Lord. This mission was to preach the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord in this age of Kali, cruel. In this present age of quarrels takes place even over trifles, and therefore the Shastras have recommended for this age a common platform for realization, namely chanting the holy name of the Lord. People can hold meetings to glorify the Lord in these respective languages and with the melodious songs, and if such performances are executed in an offenseless manner, it is certain that the participants will gradually attain spiritual perfection without having to undergo more rigorous methods. So that was the first one. So I'm going to read the second one, who is actually from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is third canto, 22 chapter, 34 verse. So in spite of their enjoying the material advantages, people can be liberated in this very life by practicing Krishna consciousness, by the simple method of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Purport. The case is similarly with the conditioned souls in general. They have come into the material life for sense gratification, but if they are able to create a Krishna conscious atmosphere as depicted here or as prescribed in the relevant scriptures by temple worship and household deity worship, then in spite of their material enjoyment, they can make advancement in pure Krishna consciousness without a doubt. At the present moment, modern civilization is too much attached to the material way of life or sense gratification. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement can give the people in general the best opportunity to utilize their human life in the midst of material enjoyment. Krishna consciousness does not stop them in their propensity for material enjoyment, but simply regulates their habits in the life of sense enjoyment. In spite of their enjoying the material advantages, they can be liberated in this very life by practicing Krishna consciousness by simple method of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jadapur, just
Yes.
before starting, I would like to say something.
Okay. No problem.
Just small thing that I remember, that today Bhajan and Kirtan, we'd like to dedicate this evening today to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He has given us, or given me particularly, I used to hear a lot of lectures, and I think he's my Shiksha Guru. I remember one instance that I was, that time I used to, I would do day Kirtan at the Radhamadhav temple, Sridham Mayapur. So once GBC meeting time, I was doing Kirtan, let's say at 11 or 12 o'clock. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he came to take darshan. And I was just singing, and then one bhajan, and he sat next to me, just hearing. And then I didn't notice. Then when I finished, I see Maharaj is behind. So then I paid obeisances. He said, very nice. He said, learn more and teach to others. So this is the one incident. And also, I used to go whenever he used to have, in Sandhya time, evening time, he would have Bhajan Kirtan session in his quarter. So many times I got the opportunity to play with him harmonium, sometimes mridanga. So it's just stuck in my memory that all those days, I mean, he is still with us, but physically we are not able to see him. So let us dedicate today's evening, Bhajan and Kirtan, to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Please start.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunivadi Pachacha Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasaji Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Hare Krishna Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gaurani Jaya, Gaurani Jaya, Gaurani Jaya, Jaya Gaurani Jaya, Jaya Gaurani Jaya, Gaurani Jaya, Gaurani Jaya, Jaya Gaurani Jaya, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Shri Ram Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Shri Ram Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you. So now I will be singing a bhajan which is written by Lochandas Thakur. It's about Nityananda Prabhu. I would read the translation first and then we'll sing along. The translation of the song is: The noble Nityananda Prabhu, the personification of supreme transcendental bliss, is never angry. Devoid of all false ego, he wanders throughout the town. Going from door to door among the residents of lowly and fallen souls, he freely distributes the Harinam Mahamantra. Holding a straw in his teeth, he calls out to whomever he sees, "Please purchase me," by calling out Gaura Hari. Speaking in this way, Nityananda Prabhu rolls on the ground, appearing like a golden mountain tumbling in the dust. Lochandas Thakur says, that sinful person who has not experienced the awakening of attachment for such an avatar simply comes and goes in the endless cycle of birth and death. Apradha
Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harinam Sankirtan ki, Ekadashi Day ki jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Thank you all very much for participating and allowing us to serve you in this way. And please bless us so that we keep on doing this kind of service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Itinamide Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. So make it sweet and short, since I'm alone, you know. It's actually, for Kirtan, you need 4 at least, according to Chanakya Pandit.
We're grateful to you, Maharaj, for engaging us in the chanting of the Mahamantra. If you kindly allow me, I could give a brief introduction about your holiness to our viewers.
Sure.
Firstly, on behalf of the ISKCON Kirtan Ministry, we would like to welcome you, Maharaj, and all the audience, the viewers, the devotees on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook, for this last hour of the EKΑDAŞީ Śravana-kīrtana festival, which is on the YOGINI EKΑDAŞÍ. So just a little bit about Maharaj, I would like to share for our viewers who are not aware or who do not know as yet. I'm sure most devotees do know about you. So Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Goswami Maharaj, was born in Syria, and he joined ISKCON in the year 1974 in Caracas, Venezuela, and was initiated personally by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in the year 1975. That was in the month of February. And in 1980, Maharaj went on to serve as a temple president in Spain and Venezuela. Maharaj has been traveling extensively and preaching for more than 20, 30 years now, within Latin America, US, and Europe. In 2006, Maharaj published a book called Srila Prabhupada in Venezuela, and that was in Spanish. Please help me, Maharaj, has it also been published in English by now?
It is already translated into English and edited. And because of the situation, we were not able to print it yet, but I hope this year I will be able to print it in English.
We're really hoping that it comes out in English. So for people like me, since I don't understand Spanish, so
sure.
So wonderful. And
by the blessing of the Vaishnavas, I hope that we can do it.
Definitely, Maharaj. And at present, Maharaj serves as an active member of the Latin American RGB as Zonal Secretary for Central America. This is the update we have in terms of your biography. Maybe we're missing out on much of what you've been doing in the last 5 to 10 years.
No, that's okay. Traveling and preaching and trying to help the devotees take Krishna consciousness the best I can, maintaining myself also Krishna conscious. So, yes, I was born in Syria, Aleppo. That's recently there was a civil war there.
Okay.
Most of the city is destroyed. So at the age of 2, my parents decided to migrate to Venezuela, 2 years old. And then we came back to Venezuela when I was 9. They stayed 5 years. In those 5 years, I learned Arabic and French, went to a school, French school. And at the age of 14, my parents were going to send me to become a Christian priest, study to become Christian priest. But last minute, I decided not to go to the monastery because they were
going back to Venezuela. I was only 14. So I decided rather to go with them. Otherwise, I would have not met the devotees or Srila Prabhupada himself either.
Right.
So that was Krishna's mercy.
Yeah, and I agree well.
Yes, please feel free to ask me questions, and we can have a conversation. If you
Definitely,
like.
for sure. Maybe we will let you start, and in the course of the conversations, we can bring up questions. Our viewers on Zoom, if they would like to raise something. Also, devotees on Facebook, they can send in a message on the chat, and we can share that with Maharaj.
Very nice, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Srila Prabhupada's appearance in this world was a great blessing to the whole planet, because he was chosen by Lord Chaitanya to fulfill his prophecy that his name will be heard in every town and village around the globe. So in that sense, I remember once I was talking with Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and he told me, I mean, he was not just talking to me, other people were there. He said that he was talking with some Babajis from Radhakund, and they were giving the argument that unless your sampradaya is coming directly from one of the associate of Lord Chaitanya, personal associate of Lord Chaitanya, the direct line, then your sampradaya will not be bona fide, according to their ideas. But His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj replied that, do you mean that the person who was chosen by Lord Chaitanya to fulfill his prophecy around the world is not in his sampradaya? Because of your, close-mindedness. Srila Bhaktisanta Saraswati Thakur said that we follow the inspiration. Our sampradaya is not just diksha, but also shiksha. Both shiksha and diksha, both are there. So we follow where the inspiration is coming. After so many years after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya, his movement was taken by the Sahaja. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in this world to save the mission, the teaching of Lord Chaitanya. And his son, Srila Saraswati Thakur, he preached all over India, opening 64 temples. And Prabhupada, he knew he had this intuition that he was chosen for that purpose. First, Prabhupada, when he was born, his father, Gaur Mohan, they called the astrologer, make a chart. And the astrologer foretold accurately that this child, at the age of 70, he will cross the ocean and will open 108 temples for Lord Krishna. So that prophecy was already there, of course. And the first meeting that Prabhupada has with his Guru Maharaj, he was a young man, recently married. And the first thing that his Guru told him, he was with a friend, he was not alone. He said to both of them, you are very intelligent boys, educated. Why you don't preach the message of Lord Chaitanya to every town and village? So that was the first instruction Prabhupada received. Of course, at that time, Prabhupada himself said he was a follower of Gandhi. By his dress, in Khadi, everybody understood he's a follower of Gandhi. So Prabhupada put some argument, because at that time everybody, agree with that unless India is free from the British rule, we can't afford to preach the message of Bhagavad Gita to the world if we are not a free nation. That was the argument. First, we have to free India, can preach. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had a different idea altogether. He was the only spiritual leader, practically speaking, who didn't agree with this idea. He said, no, this message of Mahaprabhu is so important, we can't wait for a political change of government to start preaching it. And people are in need of this. People are suffering. Lord Chaitanya's blessing, Lord Chaitanya's benefit for the all people is not ordinary. He came to give the highest goal of life. Prema Pumarto Mahan, love of Godhead. So we can't wait for changing government. It is urgent. It is now. It is important. Prabhupada was very impressed, and when he commented later that at that he accepted his Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his guru in his heart at that time. And his friend asked him, "What do you think about the sadhu?" Because he was unwilling to go first. He said, no, I already know all the sadhus, because his father used to receive many sadhus and so-called sadhus at his home. Every day he will feed 4 or 5, sadhus every day. And so he came to know some of them smoke ganja and other things, So, some of them were powerful yogi. Prabhupada said one yogi used to come to take prasad at his father home, and that yogi he used to take bath in 4 holy rivers every day at the same time. So anyway, but Prabhupada wasn't so much interested in all this. Some of the sadhus, were not following much everything. But his friend insisted, no, this is a different sadhu. I want to know your opinion. Because Prabhupada was a leader among his friends, They took very seriously his opinion on everything. So Prabhupada told his friend, the teaching of Lord Chaitanya are in the best hands. In the best hands. So anyway, when Prabhupada wanted to join immediately, but he had a family, had a wife, he was gonna have a child, so he had to be responsible. But when he helped his godbrother to open a temple in Mumbai, he presented them to all influential people. They did home programs. Prabhupada will make the introduction, play the mridanga and the kirtan. One of the sannyasi godbrother will give a speech, and Prabhupada, on behalf of his guru Gaudiya Math, will ask for donation to open the temple. And in that way, the money was collected and the temple was opened. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to inaugurate the temple by installing the deities. So privately, he had a conversation with the sannyasi in charge, which was Bhakti Saranga Goswami. And Bhakti Saranga told him, actually, this temple was possible to open it because of the help of our dear grandmother Abhay Charan Prabhu, Abhay Charan Ravindra Prabhu. He should be the temple president. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no. It is good that for now he lives separately from you, because in the future he will do everything by himself. So when Bhakti Saranga Maharaj told or Srila Prabhupada about this comment from his guru, Prabhupada was very happy. He kept this in his heart. my Guru has faith in me that I will do something big, something important. So that way we understand, that because there is one occasion also, before his Guru parted from this world, Prabhupada wrote him a letter asking him that you have many brahmachari sannyasis living with you, serving you personally every day. I'm grihastha, I can't do that, but please let me know, how can I serve you? And 2 weeks before the departure of his Guru Maharaj, he received an answer, and his Guru telling him the same instruction he gave him in the first meeting, that I want you to preach this message of Krishna consciousness to the Western world, to the English-speaking people. That will benefit them and will benefit you also. That's my desire. So that was the mission entrusted to him by his Guru Maharaj. And he knew that he had to do it. So once one of his godbrother, scholar, Sanskrit scholar, Dol Govinda Shastri was his name, came to visit Prabhupada at his home. Some godbrother will visit him from time to time, and they had a conversation. And Dol Govinda Shastri asked Prabhupada, he said, Abai Babu. Abai Babu means like Prabhu, Abai Babu. How the prophecy of Lord Chaitanya would be fulfilled, that he said 500 years ago. How will be fulfilled? And Prabhupada asked his godbrother, do you doubt the scriptures? Because that's appeared in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, this prophecy. And Dol Govinda said, no, of course I have faith in the scripture, but it didn't happen until now. I'm just wondering how it's going to happen. So Prabhupada told him, none of you will do it, meaning his godbrothers, but the foolish disciple of our Guru Maharaj will do it. So in a humble way, Prabhupada said that. And Dol Govinda was intrigued by that statement. He didn't comment on it. So anyway, the time passed. Prabhupada came to the West. Preaching went all over 5 continents. Books were translated in many languages. And but Dol Govinda was living in his town, Cuttack, in Orissa. He didn't know about it. He never heard about it. But one day he saw in his town one Western devotee with tilak and kantimala, dhoti, japamala, everything, shika. And he was surprised, First time he see a Western Vaishnava. So he approached him and told him, please excuse my curiosity. Please tell me, who are you? And the devotee said, well, my name is Bhagavad Das. I am member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Dol Govinda was intrigued. International Society, you mean not only India? No. We are all over the world. We have temples all over the 5 continents. We have printed millions of books. He started, And who did all this? Dol Govinda said, oh, my Guru Maharaj. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Dol Govinda didn't know him by that name. He didn't know that he took sannyas. He said, and who is he? I don't know. Oh, here is, I'm distributing this magazine, Back to God. Take one for yourself. Here is picture. He showed Prabhupada's picture in the magazine. And when Dol Govinda saw the picture, he said, no, Abai Babu, you did it. You made it. He was surprised and happy, shocked that, yes, you didn't speak just theoretically, you did it. So when the pure devotees speak and promise to do something, Krishna makes sure it will happen. Prabhupada himself said, otherwise, how is it possible? I was an old man living in New York, such an expensive city, they have no money. I was selling my books in the libraries here and there just to survive, to buy some vegetables, some rice and dal, to survive. I myself, I'm amazed that this happened, you know. Must be Krishna's miracle. Of course, because Prabhupada's heart was pure, he had no material desires. His only desire is to fulfill the desire of his Guru Maharaj and Lord Chaitanya, that Krishna used him as an instrument to fulfill this prophecy. Otherwise, it is practically impossible. Prabhupada said, I was thinking, when I tell the Westerners to become devotee, you have to give up meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. They will tell me, Swamiji, you better go back to India. You know? This is not possible. Prabhupada himself tells the story that his godbrother Bom Maharaj was sent to England to preach in the 30th by his guru. And he met one lord, you know, from the royal family, you know. And the man was interested in the philosophy. He said, Swami, you can make me a Brahmana. Bom Maharaj said, yes, I can make you Brahmana. But you have to follow these 4 rules. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, no all this, no meat eating. And the Lord said, impossible. I hear Prabhupada lecture telling that story. So, well, once Prabhupada was with his disciples in an airport, you know, with many of them, and he was interviewed by journalists, and their journalist was a little challenging. So he asked a challenging question. Lord Jesus Christ made many miracles. What miracles have you done? And Prabhupada's answer was, here is my miracle, showing all his disciples. Before they came to me, they were addicted to all these things, and they gave up all these things to serve God. Don't you think this is a miracle? And the journalist had to admit, yes, it is true. It is a miracle. I mean, it's easier to cure somebody's, you know, disease like Jesus did than to cure somebody's heart from sinful tendency to commit sinful activity. That's more difficult. Of course, Jesus also preached that. He wanted people to become also pure as God, you know. He preached that. I mean to say what Prabhupada did was unique in the history of the world, because Lord Jesus, he preached to people from his own community. They knew him from, you know, from childhood, and they had the same religion, the Hebrew religion, the Jewish religion. He was preaching from his own scriptures to them. But Prabhupada, he came from another faraway country to people who didn't speak his same mother language. And he was convincing them to join him, giving up all these bad habits. And not only that, he was sending them to different countries to open temples. I mean, without any training, without any experience, just the new people just joined. Anybody. He didn't choose like, okay, I'm going to choose, you know, very, very intelligent, intellectual people. Anyone who came was received, you know. So what Prabhupada did actually was something revolutionary in the religion history of the world. That's a fact, you know, because he did something nobody have done before. No religious leader have done before. And he introduced the Vedas for the first time in the West in a massive way. Of course, some people knew something, of course, you know. Before I met Srila Prabhupada, I also was reading book like the Upanishads and Ramayana, Mahabharata, but translation made by impersonalists. Yogi Ramacharaka and all this kind of impersonalists. But when I read Srila Prabhupada's Sri Upanishad, that convinced me to become a devotee. I felt in my heart, here is my spiritual master. He cleared all my doubt about God, personality, all impersonalist idea. He smashed completely. So this is the power of pure devotee, because you have full faith and conviction in the Lord's teachings and his Guru's teaching, and he can, the love he carries in his heart, he affects people in a way that they can give up everything to surrender, to Guru and Krishna and make wonderful things, go open temples around the world like that. Go out and sell books to all these people without any. I joined the movement one evening. Next day they showed me how to put on a dhoti and they gave me a bag of books. That was the Bhakta program. Anyway. Like as an anecdote, Christians, and they went to a Christian church to pray to God that if the next son will survive death, we will dress him as a Christian monk for 3 years and offer him for your service. So from the age of 2 to 5, I was dressed like a little Christian monk, Anyway, when I decided to join the movement, I told my parents, tomorrow I'm going to become a monk, live in the Hare Krishna temple. They were upset, of course. Mother was crying, you are my dear son, my favorite son and all this. No, I told them you should be happy because I'm helping you to fulfill your promise to God. They said, well, we meant the Christian God, not the Hindu God. I thought they should have been more specific then. God is one, it's not Indian or Hindu or Christian, Muslim, Jew. Let me go. If I don't like it, I will come back. Okay, come back soon. Of course, I told them that just to pacify them, Anyway, that was in the beginning of 74. I came to know the devotee in 73 when the movement started in Venezuela that year. And in beginning of 74, I joined. The movement was only like 1 year in South America. So feel free, please, to ask any question or make any comment any moment now. Hare Krishna. So please raise your hand so Govinda Charan Prabhu can open the mic for you.
Yeah, the mic's open actually, so we can see a few devotees who've come on with the cameras, so it's nice. Please put your hand up, yeah, it'll be nice, so we can manage as well.
All right, very good. Let's take this. Hare Krishna, Ashish.
Thank you, Maharaj, for sharing such wonderful pastimes and knowledge about Srila Prabhupada and all your realizations. So, Maharaj, I was just wondering that what is the, now we had EKΑΔAŞΗ yesterday. So what is the extra things we can do to advance in bhakti, especially on the auspicious days, such as we had EKADAŞΗ and soon Lord Chaitanya's appearance day is coming. So should we do extra rounds? Should we read more books? Or should we perform more kirtan? What are the extra activities we can do which can help us progress in the path of bhakti?
We can do all these things, chant extra rounds, more reading. The important thing Prabhupada said about EKΑΔAŞΗ and holy occasion is to increase our love for Krishna, for Govinda. No? And if we do it with the desire to please Krishna, anything we do, not just chanting and reading, cooking, cleaning, preaching, anything we do, if we do it to please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, then we are in the right path. We are protected, we are safe. The idea of not just fasting, the idea is to have more time for hearing and chanting, remembering about Krishna. Karmis, they fast on EKADAŞΗ, pious karmis, not any karmis, of course. Those who follow karma kanda, are called karmis. Present day people are actually bikarmis. Bikarmis, we do bad activities, prohibited activities. But generally speaking, pious karmis, they fast on EKADAŞΗ to counteract the sinful reaction of past misdeed. That's their main object of fasting on EKADAŞΗ. Some devotees do that too, with that mentality, and that is wrong. Then otherwise our follow of EKADAŞΗ become mixed karma mishra bhakti. But Prabhupada emphasized pure bhakti. No? Anyabilashita sunyam jnana karmadhyana vritam anukulyana Krishna. No? Shilanam bhakti uttama. Pure bhakti should be free from jnana and karma, mental speculation and fruitive activity to get some material gain from practicing bhakti. But devotees follow EKADAŞΗ to increase their attachment there, to hear and chant about Krishna, to increase their love for Krishna. So that's a big difference. So everything is voluntarily, and if we want to awaken our love for Krishna, then we will make an effort to chant more, to read more, to try to be more Krishna conscious, associate more with devotees who are serious in their practice of devotion to Krishna. That's the main thing. That's the main.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for sharing that mind and driving it so strongly so we can all practice more sincerely and more dedicatedly and progress on the path of devotion. There is a question, and this is pertaining to preaching more specifically in the Arab countries. So although I think for much of your life is in Krishna consciousness, you've been within South America, but since you hail from India, could you kindly share something about how Prabhupada would preach, or how he reached out in the Arab countries, and how we had some wonderful souls taken up to Krishna consciousness in these countries? Yes,
I had the opportunity by Krishna's mercy to visit some of Arabic countries. My travels, to India, I stopped in Arabic countries also, like the Emirates, Qatar, Oman, other countries. And sometimes the devotee will bring me some Muslim people interested to hear about Krishna privately, of course. It is not can't be done openly. It is prohibited. You may get serious problem, So privately, and I will preach to them in Arabic, They ask me questions, nice questions, intelligent people, And also once in Abu Dhabi, in the Emirates, or Dubai, well, either maybe both of them, devotee had a big program in the big theater, Of course, mostly Indian devotees, but some Muslim also came out of curiosity. So the devotee asked me to preach for 10-15 minutes in Arabic. So I was able to do that to please the devotees. So it was nice. I remember the first time I went to Oman, the devotee sent me a business visa because I have Venezuelan passport, so needed the visa. They sent me business visa. When I arrived at the airport, they will not allow me in the country. They said, we need to stamp this visa on an empty page, and your passport is full. There are this small room for a small visa, not for a full visa. So you can't come into the country. To preach to them in Arabic, It's my first time to your beautiful country. Like that. So I say, okay, go buy $20 tourist visa only for American and European we give. But we make exception with you since you're Arabic. I have experiences like that.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Maharaj.
But let me tell you one more thing about Oman. The capital is Muscat. And devotees took me to a temple, Krishna temple. The Krishna deity was there. I don't know how this is possible. This is a Muslim country. How they allow a temple with deity, because, in Emirates, Dubai, there is a temple, Krishna, but no deity is allowed, only pictures. Right. But in Oman, they allowed, and I hear the wonderful story. I don't know if you know it. Do you know it?
No, please tell us, Maharaj.
It's a very wonderful story, that pastime, that somehow, maybe 300 years ago, more or less, one Gujarati Vaishnava, a businessman, he was coming from Africa going to India. He stopped in Oman to get, provisions, food, etc. And in the ship, he had a deity of Krishna and a Brahmin priest doing the puja. So the soldiers of the king, they wanted to go and search all the boat, first time they get people from India. So, but the pujari locked himself with the deity inside the room. He was afraid that these people will break the deity, must smash the deity because of their whatever fanaticism. And so knocking on the door, but he will not open the door. And he was praying to Krishna, please, my Lord, do something to protect you and to protect yourself and myself from this danger, they could have, attacked him, killed him. So when they smashed the door down because he was not opening, they saw a gigantic cobra jumping at them.
Oh, really?
Illusion, And they all run away to the king and told him what happened. The king told, oh, these people are big magicians, I have to. So he called for the captain of the ship. And with the translator, they were able to communicate. And they became friends. So the king said, I like you people, you are very mystical, very spiritual. So I will allow you to have a temple here. You can have your deity. Oh. But some of you have to stay here. Like that. So still are descendant from those people. They are Vaishnavas, also do some Muslim practice, to keep the peace.
Right. Wow, that's
so.
An interesting story.
But the story doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there. Then after some time, let's say like 100, 150 years later, the deity in the dream told the pujari, okay, I would like to visit India again. Please take me there. So the Lord ordered, he wanted to go to India. So they took him to India. He stayed there like for 50 years or more, 70 years. And then one day, the dream, he also told the Pujari, I want to go back to Oman, to Muscat. You have to take me there. So at the time there were flights, airplanes and everything.
Right.
So the devotee, he wrapped the deity in the cloth. It was a, big size deity. It wasn't tiny, it was a little big. So he wrapped him in clothes and took him next. He bought 2 tickets so he can have a free seat for the deity,
Right.
So when he arrived at the airport, the devotee was very nervous, because at that time they had an X-ray machine to put the deity in. When going out, they wanted to see what you are bringing in the country.
Right.
So it was prohibited to bring any, statue of anything according to the religion, So the devotee was praying to Krishna, please do something. And when he had to put the deity in the machine broke down.
Oh, really? Wow.
So the police said, okay, go, no problem. That's how Krishna came back to Oman.
Oh, wonderful. And so you mentioned that this deity is being served by the Vaishnava community as well.
Yes. It's a Vallabhacharya temple, of course. The man was a follower of Vallabhacharya.
Right.
But it's very nice, very nice. Of course, I can't go with this sannyasi robe into the country. You have to put pants on. Even to go to the temple, the pujari can be in a dhoti, but the visitor can't.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, and also I went to another place in Oman. I can't remember the name. I think the name is Salala. And they have Radha Krishna deity also in the Hindu temple there.
Right.
And there is a similar story how they arrived hundreds of years ago. And they are made of pure silver deities. So Krishna wanted to go there. Also to Europe. I remember first time I went to visit the temple in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Devotees took me to some big castle, museum. One of the castle, there was a Krishna, murti, carved in wood, Krishna playing the flute. And this was like from 400 years ago.
Right.
So I told the devotee, Krishna came to Portugal 500 years ago, 400 years, but nobody knew about it.
Right.
Prabhupada to explain who is Krishna.
Wow. And now that deity is being served there, I hope.
Yeah, still in the.
Wow, wonderful.
Anyway. So Prabhupada presented Krishna to the whole world, Once Prabhupada invited his godbrothers to the Mayapur temple. And many of them came, many sannyasis, and had prasad with Prabhupada, the kirtan, everything nice. One of them, his name was Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, And he told his godbrothers, why you failed and our dear godbrother Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj did it, meaning preach in the West. So they were silent, didn't say. But Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said, because he had full faith in the holy name of Krishna. Full faith in the holy name of Krishna. That's why he succeeded. And we see that Prabhupada just alone in the park chanting, he attracted so many young people by his chanting the holy name. So that full faith in the holy name that can change the people's heart made the miracle possible. Prabhupada touched the heart of so many people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. We've got 2 more questions, Maharaj, if you kindly
Yes.
One is, we're eager to know about your personal interactions with Srila Prabhupada, especially in the initial years when you connected with him and while he was around. And the second one is...
Yeah, the second one?
Second one would be, after Prabhupada's departure, all these years, what is it that has kept you going and, with such firm faith and determination and to be connected to Krishna consciousness? So,
thank you for the nice 2 questions. Prabhupada came to South America for the first time in February 1975. And at that time, I was like living in the temple almost for a year. And I was recommended by the temple president for initiation, for the first initiation. So when Prabhupada called me, he gave me the brahmachari name, Jagat Chakshur Das. And he was explaining to the people the meaning. He said, Jagat means the universe, the world. Chakshur means the eye. So the Lord is the eye of the world. And you are his servant. And he told the people, remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, the eyes of the Lord are on you. Then he turned to me, and while pointing his finger at me, he said, you cannot hide from the eyes of God. And everybody was looking at me. Maybe he did something wrong. so embarrassed, everybody looking at me. And I thought Prabhupada can read the mind, because sometime I used to go to the kitchen very early in the morning, but nobody was there. I would steal some Mahaburfi, Prasad, and hiding, I will eat it thinking nobody's watching.
Right.
So Prabhupada said, you cannot hide. I thought Prabhupada definitely is reading the mind. He's a mind reader. So that was a very exciting, wonderful experience with Prabhupada. And the next day after the initiation, I came back from book distribution, Sankirtan. I kept doing the same service for many years. And Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam class in the evening. Bhagavad Gita was in the morning by other devotees. Okay. So I had to get ready for darshan and lecture. And I forgot that the temple president instructed us that while Prabhupada was 1 week living in the temple with us, we should not go to our ashram, brahmachari ashram, passing through the temple's garden, because Prabhupada may want to be in the garden, so not to disturb. I forgot that, because we always used to do that. So now I went down the stairs. To my great, surprise was Prabhupada sitting in a rocking chair in the garden. It was a nice garden with roses, many tulsi plants, and the pond with lotus flowers. And a nice view was a hill, and you can see all the valley with the mountains, So Prabhupada was sitting there comfortably. And of course, he saw me coming. I offered my obeisance to him, but I didn't know what to do. I mean, I was frozen there, What should I do? Should I go back? Should I go forward? Fortunately, I learned English before joining the movement. I went to a school and came out speaking fluently English, Right. So when Prabhupada saw that I stayed there 5-10 minutes, I will not go. I'm just frozen there. So Prabhupada just made a gesture with his hand. Looking at me, he did this. What up? What do you want?
Right.
He didn't speak, just made a gesture. So I'm very nervous, said, Prabhupada, I just came from distributing your books in the city. That softened him a little bit. He said, oh, and how Venezuelan people like my books? I get encouraged. Oh, yes, Prabhupada, they love your books very much. And they asked me for new titles. I have read all this book, new titles. They become favorable. They come to the temple and take part. Prabhupada did like this, like, no? Very good. So he got up from his rocking chair to go to his room, and he just did this, like to follow him, you know. So I went behind him into the room. He had a tray of sweets that he will give to his guests, you know, when they come. So he took one of the sweets and gave it to me. He said, thank you for helping me.
Wow.
And I thought, Prabhupada is telling me, you don't need to steal the sweet. I give to you. I mean, I was a new devotee just initiated the day before. I felt so fortunate, Prabhupada, you know, merciful, being so merciful to me.
Wow.
So I left the room very happy with his permission, eating the sweet. And the next time I had darshan of Prabhupada was in the first big New York Ratha Yatra in 76. We went a group of 30 devotees to be with Prabhupada in the first New York Ratha Yatra. 3 big cars, Fifth Avenue, you know, was a big, big event, like the summit of success in the West. The biggest avenue in the world, Fifth Avenue, was closed and with police escort, hundreds of devotees, thousands of people, you know, was really amazing sight to see Prabhupada sitting in Subhadra's chariot with his close disciples, you know, from the early days. And one of them told Prabhupada, you came here alone in 66. You was preaching alone. And now 10 years later, you are marching triumphantly through the Fifth Avenue, you know. Yeah. Prabhupada said, that's all Lord Jagannath's mercy. You know?
Right.
So there are many wonderful anecdotes like that. I remember when Prabhupada arrived in the car, another devotee and myself, we ran to the window to greet Prabhupada for obeisance, and Prabhupada recognized us from Venezuela, and he did this like this too, you know. So it was very wonderful to be with Prabhupada again. And every day in the morning in the Venezuela, we would go to the park with Prabhupada, you know. And every day he will say enlivening things and some anecdotes happening. Like, for example, Prabhupada stopped to see, there was a zoo inside the park, and he stopped to see the crocodiles swimming. So one of the crocodiles took his head out of the pool and looked at Prabhupada and opened his jaws big like that. And Prabhupada spoke to him. He said, you have very good arguments to catch, meaning big tooth, but no opportunity to catch. Then he looked at us and he said, he's inviting one of you to go there. Anyway, so many anecdotes like that. So after Prabhupada's departure, I remembered all this sweet, you know, association with Prabhupada. Although short, was very, very intense and when I was with Prabhupada, I felt protected completely from the influence of Maya. It was like a big aura, spiritual aura around him. Whoever get, you know, this experience of being really Krishna conscious, you know. So this few days experience I had in this association kept me alive in Krishna consciousness even after his departure, because the association with pure devotee is also not only Vapu but also Vani. So by following his instruction and through service and obedience to please Prabhupada, I was able, along with many other sincere devotees, to maintain our spiritual life even after his departure, to keep the enthusiasm. In his last talk, Prabhupada, before leaving the airport early in the morning, he said, Utsahan nishchayat daryat tat tat karma pravartana. He said, Utsahan is very important. Enthusiasm. He says, enthusiasm means I must see Krishna in this very life. That's enthusiasm.
Right.
So he impressed in all our heart this desire to be Krishna conscious, to make the effort to remain Krishna conscious, and to increase our attachment or desire to serve and love Krishna. So that's the power of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada.
Wow. That's such a wonderful and important message, that how we need to focus on the Vani, the instructions that have been given, and to follow them. And of course, the importance of the association of a pure Vaishnava, which naturally uplifts us as well. Really nice. So we're so grateful to you, Maharaj. But
thank you for the opportunity.
Before we let you go, is there a message for all of us? Something that you've already done that in the last part of this conversation. But anything else that you would like to share with us to keep us more surcharged in devotion?
Yeah, we have to keep the enthusiasm. Like that instruction given by Prabhupada in his last lecture in Venezuela, that kept me, alive in the sense that we have to keep the enthusiasm, And if the enthusiasm is lacking, Prabhupada said everything can be spoiled. So, because this movement is voluntarily service, it's voluntary service. Devotional service should be voluntarily, individual, and loving. Right. So, if that is lost, then what else is there? Nothing. Become a business transaction. Prabhupada said we should keep the enthusiasm and renew it when necessary. Seek good association, avoid bad association. Try to get inspired every day in chanting and reading, remembering Krishna. And that's very, very important. And we should try our best to keep the enthusiasm, because there is nothing better in our life that happened better than Krishna consciousness. It's the best thing that happened in our life. That Krishna consciousness. So it's the greatest treasure we have, and we should take care nicely of it, nurture it, shelter it from bad influences of Maya. Keep keep a good association. Always. Don't listen to the mind. The mind is the crazy of the house. The house is the body, and the mad woman of the house is the mind.
Right. Right. That's such an important message.
Yes.
I'm just being a little greedy here, Maharaj, if you allow me.
Yes. Sure.
This is, of course, in our hearts, we realize that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj is still with us. And so this festival today is an honor, and it's a dedication to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki jai. I have mentioned that Maharaj in Mayapur invited me and another godbrother, Virabhava Prabhu, to go with him to Kolkata to see the filming of Abhay Charan.
Oh, really?
A wonderful experience. He was explaining to us all the details, everything was going on. They were filming Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's life at that time.
Okay.
And when Prabhupada and was very wonderful experience. We had invited me a few times to take Prasad in Mayapur also with other God brothers. So he was very loving, very caring, wonderful, transcendental personality.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We miss him so much.
Yes.
Get lost to our movement, definitely. But he is with Krishna now. He's with Mahaprabhu,
Yes.
Prabhupada, in his Leela.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So I think on that note, with such a wonderful memory that you shared of yours with Bhakti Swami Maharaj, we'd like to really thank you on behalf of the ISKCON Kirtan Ministry and all the devotees that are present here on the Zoom session, on Facebook, on YouTube. From our hearts, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude and thank you for accepting our invitation, giving us your association and sharing such wonderful pastimes, experiences, and words of encouragement and motivation to keep us going, for our lifetime in Krishna consciousness and serving Srila Prabhupada and this wonderful Hare Krishna movement. So we really hope that in future you'll be again kind to us and accept our invitation whenever an opportunity arises.
Thank you very much, Govinda Charan Prabhu, for your wonderful service to your Guru Maharaj and to Srila Prabhupada, and for the invitation to give me opportunity to do some little service too. I'm looking forward also